The weak ones. The sky above the Mojave Desert shimmered with a distortion that was neither heat nor wind. A moment later, light bent unnaturally in the heavens, and a massive object blinked into visibility, sleek, silver, silent. The alien vessel, spanning nearly a kilometer, hovered motionless, defying gravity with contemptuous ease. The world held its breath. Within hours, every major news outlet streamed footage of the Thalzar contact ship, suspended above the Earth like a second moon. And then came the message, transmitted on every frequency, in perfect English, Mandarin, Spanish, and a dozen other languages. We are the Thalzar. We come to evaluate your species for entry into the Greater Galactic Accord. Prepare your leaders. Inside a temporary UN command center in Geneva, Dr. Layla Morgan, xenolinguist and advisor on extraterrestrial diplomacy, stood shoulder to shoulder with generals, diplomats, and scientists. The atmosphere was a strange mix of awe, fear, and skepticism. A vertical column of pale blue light split the air in the center of the conference hall. From it emerged four beings, each over 7 feet tall, with elongated limbs, grayish skin, and gleaming metallic suits that hissed softly with every movement. Their large eyes were obsidian and unreadable. The one in front stepped forward, inclining his head slightly. "I am Commander Zeruin, representative of the Thalzar Ascendancy," he said in a voice that sounded both organic and synthetic. "We have evaluated your broadcasted data. Your species exhibits rudimentary technology, inefficient biological structures, and unstable sociopolitical behaviors. We estimate your advancement at stage 0.7 on the galactic scale." One of the generals scowled. "And what does that mean?" Zeruin blinked. "You are weak, but not irredeemable." Murmurs rippled through the room. Dr. Morgan stepped forward, steady in her tone. "We're still here. We've survived war, famine, disease, and even space. You may not see our strength, Commander, but it's there." Zeruin studied her. "Your physiology is inefficient. Your muscles are underdeveloped. Your species struggles in variable climates. Your planetary gravity is unusually high, which has stunted your evolution. And yet, you cling to defiance." He turned to his second, speaking in rapid, clicking sounds of his native tongue. The translation came seconds later through their neural interface. "They would make poor laborers, worse warriors, perhaps biofarm stock or observational subjects." Morgan's jaw clenched. She wanted to lash out to challenge him right there, but she forced herself to speak with diplomacy. "Before you make any decisions, you should see more of us. Meet those who carry steel through fire, who lift cities after earthquakes, who endure 6GS in test flights." Zeruin tilted his head. Such displays would be inefficient. However, in the spirit of cultural assessment, we will observe. Prepare a demonstration of your best specimens. As the Thalzar withdrew, the room erupted in angry whispers. "He called us farm stock," the general muttered. "Arrogant bastards," another spat. But Dr. Morgan remained calm, eyes locked on the vanishing figures. "They think they've seen us," she whispered. "But they've only seen the surface." She knew something the aliens didn't. On Earth, strength wasn't always visible in form. It was forged under pressure, in the very pull of the planet itself. The unexpected battlefield. The desert sun blazed overhead as the Thalzar transport ship descended with geometric precision. A sleek, gleaming hull opened to reveal a squad of alien soldiers, each encased in shimmering exosuits designed to enhance mobility, augment strength, and filter foreign atmospheres. Commander Zeruin stood proudly at the observation ridge, arms folded behind his back. "Deploy. Begin planetary assessment at ground level. Observe without interference." 20 of the Thalzar's finest warriors stepped onto Earth's surface. They were elite, genetically modified, mentally disciplined. They lasted 5 minutes. Private Serena Kane, stationed with the U.S. Marine Detachment assigned to the observation cooperation exercise, was the first to notice something off. The Thalzar soldiers moved strangely. Slow, uneven. One fell to his knees within moments, his exosuit audibly groaning. Gravity check. Kane asked over her comms. Confirmed. Local G. 1.01 standard. They're just not used to it, replied the tech officer. The aliens tried to maintain composure. Their movements, graceful in the low gravity of their ship and homeworld, had become sluggish. Each step sank heavily into the sand. Their legs trembled under the unfamiliar weight. A second soldier collapsed, unable to lift himself. His exosuit, calibrated for light-pressure terrain, whined and vented steam. The earth was pressing down on them like a relentless, invisible hammer. "Why are they buckling?" asked a nearby reporter filming the scene. Dr. Layla Morgan stood beside her, arms crossed. "Because they didn't evolve here. Earth's gravity is more than triple what they're used to. Every movement is resistance training. Every breath costs energy." Commander Zeruin's eyes narrowed as the scene unfolded. He turned to one of his tech officers. "Compensate. Increase exosuit assist ratio." "We are at 180% assist, Commander," the officer replied. "Structural integrity is approaching stress limit." Zeruin clenched his jaw. Below, Sergeant Boone, a broad-shouldered Marine who trained in full gear through swamps and urban concrete alike, strode up to one of the Thalzar, struggling to stand. "Need a hand, champ?" he asked casually, before hauling the alien upright with one arm. The alien's weight, nearly 300 pounds in gear, barely made Boone grunt. The Thalzar soldier stared at the human, eyes wide, limbs shaking. "Al, how are you so strong?" Boone chuckled. "Welcome to Earth, buddy. We've been fighting gravity since birth." The real moment of humiliation came during the joint exercise. The Thalzar had designed a mock obstacle course to demonstrate their coordination. It took them 47 minutes and resulted in 3 injuries. Then it was the humans' turn. 5 Marines, including Kane and Boone, sprinted through it in 12 minutes, laughing, sweating, and taunting each other mid-run. Zeruin watched in cold silence. "They don't even wear powered armor," his officer muttered. "Because they don't need it," Dr. Morgan said, walking up behind them. Zeruin turned sharply. "Your species is inefficient. Fragile. Fragile doesn't survive on Earth," she replied. "We're just built different. Our bones are denser. Our hearts pump harder. Our muscles resist a pull your kind never had to endure. We're not weak. We're forged by pressure." That evening, aboard the Thalzar command ship, Commander Zeruin stood in a gravity simulator chamber, having it dialed up to Earth normal. He lasted 90 seconds before collapsing to one knee, gasping, his limbs shaking uncontrollably. He staggered out of the chamber, pale and disoriented. "What have we underestimated?" he asked aloud, voice barely audible. His officer replied, "The planet itself, Commander. The humans aren't strong in spite of it. They are strong because of it." Zeruin said nothing. But deep within him, a crack had formed, a fracture in the Thalzar certainty of superiority. And Earth had only just begun to show its teeth. Strength beyond steel. Night fell across the Appalachian foothills, but the humans didn't stop moving. In the shadows of pine forests and jagged slopes, small units of resistance fighters moved with precision and speed. Civilians, soldiers, even retired miners had joined in. Their weapons were crude compared to Thalzar plasma rifles, but Earth had never depended on tech alone. It relied on grit. Commander Zeruin paced aboard the Thalzar command vessel. A flickering hologram showed failure after failure. Outposts overrun, patrols lost, supply drones hijacked. "How are they doing this?" he growled. His advisor, Analyst Thurek, tapped his claws against a panel. "We underestimated their terrain proficiency, stamina, and, most importantly, their endurance under pressure. Their resistance tactics are adapted for high-gravity environments. We can't keep up." Zeruin waved the report away. "They're primitives. Improvise. Reinforce suits. Increase drone surveillance." But even drones fell, shot down by repurposed human tech or drawn into traps by clever decoys. Earth, with its shifting weather, mountainous landscapes, and magnetic interference, was not a clean battlefield. It was chaos, and humans thrived in chaos. In a repurposed bunker outside Asheville, Dr. Layla Morgan reviewed reports by lantern light. Beside her, Sergeant Boone cleaned his sidearm. A captured Thalzar engineer, Kiladar, now defected, sat nearby, watching them with a mix of curiosity and respect. "You move so quickly under this gravity," Kiladar said. "You're kind. How do you not break?" Boone looked up. "We do break. Bones, bodies, minds. But we heal, adapt, come back stronger. That's how we're built." Kelanar's long fingers flexed slowly. "We were bred for perfection. We've never faced adversity like this. We never had to." Dr. Morgan looked at him. "That's your flaw. You engineered comfort. Earth bred resilience. As the resistance grew bolder, humans took more prisoners, not to torture, but to teach. Captured Thalzar were shown how humans trained, dragging sleds, climbing mountains, running marathons, swimming in icy rivers. They watched a 70-year-old man outlast a young soldier in a high-gravity treadmill chamber. They saw children in schools doing pull-ups, hiking to class, or hauling firewood at high altitudes. And something strange began to happen. Thalzar soldiers started requesting to learn from humans. They wanted to train in Earth's gravity, to see what it meant to be strong without enhancement. One, then two, then dozens. Back aboard the orbiting command ship, Zeruin's grip on authority weakened. Analyst Thorek turned on him during a strategy briefing. "We should leave, Commander. They're not prey. They are pressure-forged. We cannot win a ground campaign here." Zeruin slammed his hand against the console. "We are Thalzar. We dominate. We do not run from soft-boned creatures." Kelanar's voice came from the far end of the chamber, calm but firm. "Then step into their gravity again, Commander. Try to walk among them. Then call them soft." The silence was absolute. Zeruin said nothing. He couldn't. His knees still ached from his last attempt to withstand Earth-normal conditions. Meanwhile, in cities around the world, resistance groups weren't just fighting. They were winning hearts. More Thalzar defected, intrigued by the resilience and camaraderie of humans. They weren't perfect, but they were persistent, unbreakable. Back in the Appalachian bunker, Morgan received a final encrypted message from a Thalzar sympathizer. "The Council debates withdrawal. Zeruin is losing face. The Earth campaign is collapsing. Hold out just a few days longer." Morgan looked to Boone. "You ready?" He smiled, slinging his pack over one shoulder. "Born ready. Earth doesn't break, we just bend. And when we snap back, they'll feel it. HFY. Humanity, forged by gravity." The Thalzar High Command met in silence. Within the Obsidian Chamber, aboard the orbiting warship Ascendancy's Edge, the Galactic Empire's elite reviewed a battlefield map that told a single, undeniable truth. They had lost Earth, not in a single grand battle, not in overwhelming destruction. They had lost it to something far more insidious: human endurance. Commander Zeruin stood, bruised in body and ego. His once flawless command armor was scratched, his movements cautious. Gravity still dragged at him like an invisible punishment. Before him, holograms cycled through disturbing images. Thalzar soldiers requesting discharge, unable to endure Earth's weight. Human children running uphill at altitudes that left Thalzar gasping. Marines in soaked uniforms, lifting weights that would rupture an alien's joints. And finally, the worst. Kelanar, the engineer-turned-defector, standing beside Dr. Layla Morgan at a Livestream summit, extending an open hand of alliance to Thalzar sympathizers. "We misjudged them," Kelanar said. "Not because we thought they were weak, but because we didn't understand what strength truly was." The Earth broadcast went viral in less than an hour across the Galactic Accord. Dr. Morgan stood in front of the UN flag, her voice calm but unshakable. "You came to evaluate us. You called us inefficient, primitive, fragile. But Earth made us the way we are. This planet crushes bones, dries rivers, topples empires, and still we build again. We are the children of pressure, of heat, of relentless gravity. We may not look strong, but we are, because strength isn't about domination. It's about how many times you rise after you fall. We are not joining your empire, but we will share our knowledge, our pain, our endurance. If you want to learn what Earth has taught us, you are welcome, but do not come again thinking we are weak. The broadcast echoed across Thalzar space. Among younger warriors and citizens, the tide shifted. Not toward conquest, but curiosity. Toward Earth. Zerwin was recalled, disgraced but not exiled. He had not failed as a warrior. They simply faced an enemy their doctrine had no word for. Resilience. He filed his final report to the Galactic Council. Humanity is not suited for conquest. They are too unpredictable, too chaotic, too stubborn. They are gravity-forged, and gravity is the one enemy no empire can ever defeat. In a remote mountain village, Dr. Morgan sat beside Boone, overlooking the sunrise. Kellenar now trained with local hikers, struggling to climb what 10-year-olds scaled for fun. And yet he kept going. Boone sipped his coffee. So what now? They gone for good? Morgan smiled. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. But next time, they'll show up with respect instead of orders. He nodded. Good. Earth's not a place for conquerors. She looked at the sky, pale blue fading into orange. No, she said. It's a place for survivors.